November edition of the W-OLGC Newscast. I'm here to talk to Colleen about preschool and kindergarten. Hi, Colleen.
Hi, Tommy. In preschool, the most exciting things they had going on this month were the Thanksgiving feast and the Thanksgiving prayer service. They discussed things about giving thanks and what they are thankful for. They also continued working on the letters C and D this month. They are doing very well with their letters in school this year, Miss Sanders says. Well, that's all the fun happening in preschool now. Now let's see what's going on in the older grades. In kindergarten, they are learning about God and that praying is our way of talking to Him. In math, they are learning to count using the calendar. The kids are learning how to write the letters of the alphabet. I hope they do well.
Thanks, Colleen. Now I'm going to go over to Laquita so she can tell us about what's going on in the first and second grade. And I must say, that's an adorable picture.
Yeah, Tommy. Hold on your seats because the first grade is learning about animals.
In science, second graders are turning into archaeologists these days. In science, they were digging for artifacts using dirt on the paper plates. They are also recently made turkeys in Miss Mulholland's second grade class to bring home.
They also have a Philly Fanatic reading log that should be read every night.
Wow, that sounds like a lot. Now let's head over to Jamie so she can talk about the third grade.
Thanks, Tommy. Science in third grade is living it up by learning how living things grow and change. In math, they are learning how to use adding with regrouping. In ILA, they are learning about canines and how the police use them. In religion, they are also learning about Pentecost and how they were filled with the Holy Spirit. That's all for third grade.
Wow, sounds great. Now let's go to Naira so she can tell us about what's going on in the fourth grade.
There are some very interesting things going on in fourth grade math. The students' math are getting sharper as they play multiplication around the world. That sounds like fun. I wonder if they got to dress up. In science, the fourth graders just finished their experiments, and in ILA they are currently learning about prepositions. The students are just finishing their maps of New Jersey counties in computer lab. They are also very excited about Thanksgiving.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, let's go over to Brandon so he can tell us about the beginning of our country.
That's right. The fifth graders are reading Washington's Crossing of the Delaware to express their patriotism. The fifth grade also recently held a heated debate between the Patriots and the Redcoats. The students learned a lot and had a lot of fun. For religion, the fifth grade Skyped with Deacon Jim Grogan, who's attending a seminary right now while he's studying to become a priest. In ILA, the students are learning about prepositions. In science, the students are learning about ecosystems, food chains, and food webs. Looks like they're having a pretty busy year. Now we're going to talk to Alexa with some man-on-the-street interviews.
That's right, Brandon. I interviewed Sister Rosemary on her 50th Jubilee and Kyle, an 8th grader, on how he felt in a diaper on stage.
My Jubilee Day was a wonderful day here in Our Lady of Good Counsel Parish. The liturgy was just wonderful. Father Damien, just an excellent job with the choir and the altar servers and the lectors. Everyone made me feel so welcomed and so appreciated here in Our Lady of Good Counsel. After the Jubilee, we had a reception in the cafeteria, which was wonderful to see so many parents, children, parishioners come to see me and wish me well.
How did it feel like when you were on stage in a diaper?
It was fun, kind of embarrassing, you gotta put on a show to make everyone laugh, and that's what I did. It was fun.
How did you feel? How did your friends react?
Kind of funny. Walking back to class, they're like, oh, diaper boy this, diaper boy that, but you know what, I'm happy I did it, and school was happy. That's all I need.
Thanks, Alexa. That sounds really interesting. Now let's go over to Corey so he can tell us about what's happening in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math.
In 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math, the students are going out of their mind because of all the hard topics. In 6th 1, 7th 2, students will be learning about metric and customary units. Students will also have a chapter project on designs of roller coasters. In 6th 2, students are turning fractions into decimals. They also are doing a lab on comparing fractions. In 7-1 and 8-2, students are learning about square root, cube root, and real numbers. They also had a chapter project on dimensions of a tree and had tests on chapter 4. In 8-1, students are learning about function. They also had a chapter project on distance and light.
That's all for math. Thanks, Corey. Now let's go over to Sean so he can tell us about what's happening in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade science.
Do you like physics, Tommy? The 6th graders are learning all about physics. They are also doing some really cool motion lab stuff. They are learning about acceleration, average speed, and velocity. In 7th grade, they are learning about weather and how to read all the cool equipment. They are also learning about atmosphere and wind. In 8th grade, they are doing biology and experimenting on fruit and leaves.
I wish I were learning that. Thanks a lot, Sean. Now let's go over to Marissa so she can tell us about what's going on in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade social studies.
Hi, Tommy. Even though China is really far away, that didn't stop 6th grade from learning about the traits of China.
In 7th grade social studies, they are studying the foundation of the 13 English colonies. They've learned about the Puritans and the reason they came to America. They have also learned about the relations formed between the Native Americans and the early settlers. Remember to be taking strong notes. They will come in handy in high school and college.
In 8th grade social studies, they're learning about the westward expansion.
Holy Sacagawea. Now let's go over to Nick so he can tell us about 6th, 7th, and 8th grade ILA.
You're right, Tommy. It's time to jump down the rabbit hole with Alice in Wonderland. They're also preparing for the Jessie Tray. In 8th grade ILA, Mrs. Gullah and her class are reading a book called Freak the Mighty. In gym, Mr. Walsh said our main focus this month is throwing and catching. We'll be throwing at targets, throwing catch with a partner, and football bingo.
Wow, sounds like so much fun. Now let's go over to Kyle so he can tell us about what's going on in Spanish and computers.
In computers, if you like typing, then Typing Web is for you. In grades 3 through 7, the students are competing on Typing Web. Typing Web is an online tutor that helps children with their typing. They are competing for leaderboard spots, which are on a board in the computer room. They are also learning how to research any cool topics they want. In Spanish, the children 3rd through 5th have to make sure their binders always come with them, and they have to make sure that they come home with them over the weekend to review. In grades 6 through 8, they have their Spanish is Fun books. They also bring them home over the weekends to review and complete homework assignments. So there you go, Tommy. That's all for specials.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, we're going to close out the show today. We'll see you next month on W-OLGC News.